Hello, lovely staff of Aimthorpe Primary. This session is all for you. It's all about how to prepare for a good night's sleep by practicing restorative yoga, breathing practices and deep relaxation guided meditation. If sleep is not a problem for you, it's also excellent for an anxious mind or anxious body or both. So please like, subscribe to our page, check out our weekly videos, make sure that you have for this session a bolster or something similar. You can roll up a duvet or something such as a pillow, or you can get a sleeping bag and you can get a belt around it such as one that you've taken out of your dressing gown, some blankets, any will do, an eye mask, a sleep mask is lovely. Don't worry if you haven't got any blocks, yoga blocks. You can use anything similar such as a hardback heavy dictionary with elastic round it. I hope you enjoy this session. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, my lovelies, my beautiful yogis, tonight's special is all about how to get a decent night's sleep. But also, if you are one of these people who sleep like a log, it's very good for an anxious mind or anxious body or both. We will start our practice with our usual checking in, orientating, centre and grounding, which really gets us into the present moment. We'll set our intention for our practice, for our well-being, inspiring and motivating you, of course. And then we will move on to a variety of different types of restorative yoga. Now, restorative yoga is a deeply relaxing style of yoga where you are held and supported with props. It's about letting go. It's about being a being person, not a doing person. The challenge, however, for restorative yoga is that it takes time to train the mind to be quiet as we hold the poses anywhere between 3 and 10 minutes. For the benefit of this class, we will be holding for poses between 3 and 5 minutes. So, if you've been practicing mindfulness with me, it's a very, very good time to practice that mindful attention. Because even though your body rests, it won't be able to come into deep relaxation until your mind is no longer busy. So it's a little bit like the issue to do with not being able to sleep properly at night. A busy mind means that you won't have a rested body the next day. So that's what this very important postural type of yoga is all about. We will be focusing on the breath to keep you in that mindful situation. Now, before we start the class, I'm going to take you through some very, very easy tips to get a restful night's sleep. And we will find that in this particular situation of social distancing that's more likely to happen. So I will talk a little bit about dietary, also about having a strong sort of structure to your day and so forth. So this is based on my experiences and what I've learnt in terms of developing my own sleep routines and also working with other people. Now, the best way to get a good night's sleep is obviously to have a very good structure and a routine. It doesn't really help to get up late and go to bed late. It's all to do with how we regulate the difference between day and night, between the balance of the serotonin and the melatonin. The serotonin during the day and the melatonin during the night. We also need to help to regulate that by getting out in daylight. So I always say that having a good routine is very, very important. It's a little bit like when you get your first child or baby, and you know that the only way to get a baby into a regular sleep pattern is to get them into a routine that involves also a nighttime routine where they're absolutely aware of their body is switching down and getting ready for sleep. So, getting up and going to bed at the same time every day. That's very, very important. We need to move. If you're not tired during the day and you're being very sedentary and sat around a lot, that is going to be a challenge. It's also a good idea to have an early morning walk to get that sunlight as well, to activate that the idea of your circadian rhythms going, which is very, very important. Reduce your stress as much as you can. Cortisol, the fight-flight response, obviously, is going to stress the mind and make it anxious so it can't switch off. The great thing about yoga is that it does two things. It increases the neurotransmitter of GABA and serotonin that help to relax the mind and the nervous system. So that's really, really, really important. Also as well, you try and wind down if you can early as possible, say from 9 o'clock. Having a nice bath, reading a non-thrilling book, and be careful of how you use screen time. If you're using screen time up to an hour before bed, this can affect the circadian rhythms to do with the rods at the back of your eyes that trick your mind into believing that you are still in daylight. So that's very important. It's also about the room as well that you're sleeping in. Your bed should only ever be for sleeping and never for working. That means there should be no office in there or any tech in there as well, with heavy curtains so it's nice and dark and slightly cool, not too warm, not too hot. That's very, very important. It's also about balancing your sugar levels. Now, what we can do with balancing your sugar levels is, if you're one of these people who get very dippy sugar levels and they can occur in the middle of the night and then you wake up, you can eat some things such as like oatcakes or banana and celery nut butter, for example. But a higher protein breakfast during the day is really, really important, very, very important for you to get that serotonin into the body. So taurine, for example, which is an amino acid, getting more shellfish, meat, fish and dairy into your body is really, really important. Vitamin B, whole grains, meat, dairy, legumes, seeds and nuts, dark leafy vegetables and citrus as well. But also with the GABA is the same stuff that you get from the vitamin B, which is bananas and broccoli and citrus and fish and lentils and nuts. So it's all about having a very, very good balanced diet. Sorry to say this, but processed food, no good. Processed fats, processed sugars, processed white flour and things like that, really it's a good idea to cut them out of your diet, because what they do is they cause inflammation of the nervous system and the body, which means that you can promote an anxious body and an anxious mind. So that's really, really important. Check your magnesium levels as well. Supplement that, because that works on your parasympathetic rest and digest part of your body too. So that's really important. Drinking chamomile tea, I personally must admit, I really do not like herbal teas. My definition of herbal tea is something that you get at the bottom of a bin, the brown recycle bin that I use to put all the gardening waste in. Or as my lovely friend who likes to call it, Lauren, bin wet juice. So drinking chamomile tea can help to relax you, because it's very important that you try to avoid alcohol and caffeine. Caffeine in the system, having a really, really strong cup of coffee, say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, can probably keep you still awake very much at night. So really, if you're going to go for those big fat style Costa coffees, no later than 2 p.m. Okay, nothing wrong with having a coffee in the morning, but just be careful about your caffeine intake from say 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That's really important. Reducing your stress, obviously, winding down, using essential oils such as lavender is really, really quite nice. But also as well, if you're going to bed and you haven't processed all the information of the day, it's a very good idea to have a journal by your bedside. Worries can keep you up at night, and if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're going through conversations that you wish you'd had and the past and your worries of the future, it's a good idea to get your worries down and to list and plan what you need to do for tomorrow. So get that out of the way before you go to bed, and practice gratitude as well. Just write down a few things that make you feel grateful. And practicing gratitude has been proven to promote happiness. I think that's just about everything that I need to go through just now, so we can start the practice straight away. When we do this practice, it's really, really important that you focus on collapsing into the practice and using more of your exhales. I'll be doing a range of poses, but I want you to remember that you need to try the poses depending on how you feel, and some of them may not be useful for you. Okay, so we'll start laid on our back, bolster under our knee in supported rest pose. So you can have anything underneath your knees rolled up. This is nice. Now obviously I've been talking a lot about grounding and centering and orientating, which is a really good thing for anxious body, anxious mind, PTSD, getting yourself into the present moment. You know, taking in your whole environment and being aware of your five senses. You know, you're just looking around the room and you're taking it all in, you're picking, say for example, 3 colours. But we can talk about our senses when we lay it down here. We can centre and we can ground. So let's just lie down on our backs and just check in with our bodies and set our intention for our practice. The window's open slightly, but I like the sound of the birds. I use the birds a lot because they really help me to tune into sound, and I do a lot of mindful sound practice. That's my favourite. Okay, so lie on your back. So what we're going to do is practices in both orientating, grounding and centering at the same time. So closing your eyes is quite important because you're bringing your attention inwards and you're focusing on that interoception and you're fine-tuning and tuning into the body. This is what we need to do. The really important thing about this practice, and I'll just put my head up a little bit slightly so I'm talking to you, is that when you check in with your body, with your breath and with your mind and with your physical states, you are practicing self-care because you're noticing signs of burnout and fatigue. And when we practice self-compassion, because we're going to do a self-compassion guided relaxation at the end, we are dialing down the stress response because we're removing what we said before, the stress hormones, and replacing them with the much more feel-good hormones that allow us to relax, and also we're going to practice being more looking after ourselves. This is just a nice thing to do. It's really important to feel into things and notice sensations and be very, very mindful. We need to really notice and register everything and everything that's going on in our body, and that's really, really important. So we'll start that now. So we'll just place your hand on your belly, whichever feels nice. So you can place one under the chest, one on the belly, or both. So we're going to practice centering and grounding and breathing. And at the same time, just draw your attention into all points of contact between your body and the floor. And this is your grounding, your present moment attention. And imagine that you, at the same time as that you're focusing on these senses, just notice what you can hear. You can focus on sensations in the mouth, such as tickling the palate with your tongue. You may have some nice essential oils that are burning, perhaps, and you might want to take that and focus on the sensation through the nostrils. And then imagine that you've got a balloon just behind your belly button and focus on that core, your centre of yourself, your being, and just practice some nice deep inhales and nice deep exhales. So nice and smooth without changing, nicely flowing in and out of each other, the exhale and the inhale. And this is really important because we want to imagine that they're very smooth and flowing into each other. Almost as if you're kind of following the circle round a lovely smooth pebble. Or as almost as if you feel that undulation like a wave coming in or coming out. So breath, belly centre, contact with the floor, and your senses, your 5 senses. Just coming into this present moment attention. So We're going to be practicing non-judgmental awareness of sensations and physical sensations. We're not going to attach a story to anything that we notice. We're just going to go, I'm aware of this. And just allow your body to soften, allow the breath to get slower and deeper. And then set an intention for your practice, anything that you would like for your well-being, flipping that script. So if you feel stressed today, you can say the opposite, that sentence beginning with I am. So you may want to say, well, for this practice I want to feel calm. What is the roadblock that will get you through this particular situation right here, right now? Deep inhales, deep exhales. And when you practice an abdominal breathing, what you're doing is you're practicing vagal tone. You're working on when you drop into ventral vagal, freeze, fight or flight, working on your vagal tone, working on this important cranial nerve that attaches from your brainstem to your face, to your ears, to your larynx, to all your vital organs. You're massaging that vagal nerve because you're massaging the organs, and also because it goes through your diaphragm with your esophagus, because it goes through your diaphragm, you're massaging it with the deep abdominal breathing. So it's really important to practice vagal tone. It's one of the key factors to do with PTSD and anxiety, low mood. One of the most helpful things that you can do. Because we're very, very stressed, we breathe up into the upper half of the chest, short, sharp and shallow. And we're taking too much oxygen. So we need to focus more on the exhale in this practice today. The inhale alerts the body, it renews the body with the oxygen, and the exhale softens, we relax down. So almost as if you're imagining on the inhale that you feel that extension and that lift, and then with the exhale you're feeling that collapse, the heaviness, the contact with the body, and you feel that going down. So we'll just check in with how we feel today. We're just having a little bit of a snapshot. So how is our mind today? How is the quality of our thoughts? We're not looking for reasons why, just check in. And then our heart space and our emotions, just notice. And then bring the spotlight of attention to our physical body. And just very slowly take that spotlight of attention as if it's like a light. Just taking it all the way down, just take it down as you scan the body, starting from the head, just looking for areas of tension or areas of relaxation. We're not judging, we're just noticing. We're checking in with the face and the neck and the jaw, tops of the shoulders, shoulder blades, the arms, the forearms, the hands. Checking in with the torso, both the front and the back. Just noticing what is right here, right now in the hips. And then in the thighs, the knees and behind the knees. Just check in with the shins and the calves and the feet and the ankles. And then just check in with the body as a whole. Where is the main area of tension? Just notice, we're not trying to change anything, we're not trying to fix anything. We're not attaching any judgment to this, we're just noticing. And then we'll do everything with slow mindful attention. So every time you move, I want you to focus on what you're feeling, what you're sensing, where the contact is with you and the floor. And we're just going to come down into our first side lying stretch. Now if this feels comfortable, if this feels any discomfort, let me know. If you've got a very big bolster, this could be a slight challenge. So you might want a rolled up blanket instead of this bolster here. And make sure you have plenty of things underneath your hips if it feels a little bit bony. If you feel cold, tuck yourself in. It's always good to have socks when you're doing this. Okay, you can always prop yourself up and use blocks all the time. So we're going to do a side lying stretch. And we're just going to hold it for a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So we're going to place this bolster just here, so it's right into the hollow of the waist, with our knees bent, stacked on top of each other, nice and perpendicular. Okay, and we're just going to come all the way down and we're just going to stretch. Now, we're taking our arms, obviously, we're trying to stack our shoulders and our hips as we come into this stretch, and just relax into it. If that feels uncomfortable, just adjust everything. At the end of the day, you're looking for the comfort that you need. Now, if this side lying stretch here, which we're going to hold for a couple of minutes, is a little bit of a challenge, instead you can do a side lying twist. Just take your bolster in the opposite direction, so you can stay there if that feels comfortable, or you can still keep your knees bent. So you bring your hip right up to the edge of the bolster, you take a nice big inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, twist, and bring the centre of your chest all the way down into the middle of the bolster, and you can lie here with your head to the side. So if that feels better for you, just experiment. I like to sometimes, with this one here, give it a little bit of an extra propping up with a block, just like that, so it's coming to a little bit of a degree. It's all about experimenting with what's right for you, or taking it higher. So, whichever posture that you're in, side lying or twist, we're going to do it left side, then swap over to the opposite side. So remember, inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist, and then just relax. Take your eyes off. If you've got one of these masks with an elasticated item around it, very handy indeed. So we're just going to practice now some mindful breathing. We're just going to come back to the awareness of the body against the floor. All points of contact. Feel the hands, the container of your skin. Feel the contour and the shape around your fingers. And just come back to an awareness of those deep inhales and deep exhales in the abdomen. If you find this a little bit difficult, you can practice square breathing. Sorry, balancing breath, because square breathing involves holding your breath. So nice big inhale, so we breathe, inhale for 5, the count of 5, and exhale to the count of 5. That gives you the mindful attention and the focus so that your mind doesn't wander. Always remember that if your mind wanders or anything difficult crops up, or if there's any uncomfortableness, you can move slowly and mindfully until you feel comfortable. And always practice resourcing. The best way to practice resourcing into the present moment is focus on your breath, focus on the contact of the floor, focus on your hands and your feet and your hips on the floor, and focus on your counting. And with each exhale, allow the body to soften and become heavy into the bolster. The challenge is to quiet the mind through mindful attention. And then when you feel ready, you can swap to the other side. So if you're doing the side lying pose, again, everything nice and perpendicular and stacked on top of each other. You have the bolster right in the crook of the waist, so you have this option to come like this. If this feels like the holding pattern is too challenging, just come into that nice twist. And then come back to your mindful attention of the breath, focusing on physical contact between your body and the floor. Bringing your hips right up to the bottom of the bolster, and then inhale to lengthen and exhale, fold. You can place your head in the opposite direction if that feels comfortable. So you can go into the full twist, whatever feels nice, or just on the side here, close your eyes. And practice that interoception, so you're focusing on physical sensations. You're focusing on your breath and your body on the floor. Allow the weight of the props to hold and support you. And just feel with each exhale as you count in 4, inhale, 4, exhale, or deep belly breathing, that with each exhale as you focus that your body softens and collapses into the floor. Of course, you can pad your hips, your feet, and place a blanket on top. There's no end to the amount of props that you require. The more you have, the better. And if you need to move, just do that with small mindful attention. If you need to adjust your body, if there's any discomfort, do that. Just notice the sensations as you move. Obviously we're going to do short practices, but as you do this at home, you can extend the length of these poses as much as you need. Next one is child's pose. Folds, twists and folds are very calming. Now obviously child's pose, depending on whether you're holding any tension, the higher the bolster, the more that you will get out of it. You can place more stuff underneath and stack more stuff underneath, like so, or you can make it go at a 45-degree angle like that, whatever feels comfortable for you. So you're bringing your hip, the bolster up towards your hips. You may need to pad underneath the tops of the feet and maybe even in between, so you don't, in between your calves and your shins, whichever feels comfortable for you. So we're inhaling to lift and lengthen, and then we're exhaling to fold with a flat back, and then we're coming into this posture. Now, if you're one of these people who own any heavy or weighted blankets, they're very popular at the moment, and some of them have got big sale reductions. Heavy weighted blankets or sandbags can help to increase the sense of groundedness that's really good for anxiety and PTSD. Sandbag weighted bags are used in restorative yoga, but weighted blankets are just as good. So you're placing weight on your back when you're doing this posture. So just come back into the contact between your body and the floor. Allow your body to soften and come back to the breath. Keeping that mindful attention on the counting of the inhales and the exhales, or the abdominal breathing. And you allow the body to completely soften and let go. Use your exhales to feel the weight as you sink. These postures are just gentle holding of shapes that gently stretch the body without causing any tension or pushing the body too far. this still gently opens the hips and the lower back, particularly for back pain. Now if you've got a herniated disc, there's a contraindication for this and for the twist in the previous exercise. So be careful if you have got that. Herniation discs, you would be better off doing bolsters laid on your back. If you have stenosis, this is very nice. Back bends are very aggravating for stenosis of the back. And then when you're ready, come all the way up. And we'll come into the next posture. So if you had a herniated disc and you want to come into one that's a nice one, now I'll just show you another one that's very useful to do. I'll just quickly demonstrate that one, but I'm going to come straight into the posture which is for people who have had herniation in their disc. This is a nice calming fold pose. If you find child's pose too much, particularly when it comes to having your hips going back towards your heels and you know, it feels very, very tight and painful under here and under the tops of the feet. So instead, what you can do instead, you can place a blanket underneath your hips and you can just do a seated forward fold. So however you want to position your legs, straight or bent or cross-legged, just make a pillow with your hands and just fold and place your head and just relax there. So that's one option if you find that child's pose is too much. So supported bound angle posture, that's the one we're going to do now. So if you have got an issue such as you've had a herniated disc, chest openers are very, very useful. But also if we're working with mindful self-compassion, we're working with opening up the heart centre. This can be quite a challenge. We talked in our mindfulness class, our last one, which was about the importance of, you know, how can you, when you're facing emotional overwhelm, you focus on your resourcing tools of your breath, and the focus on the hands and the body touching the floor and contact. This idea of container of skin. So, you don't have to have it like this in this situation. You can just have the bolster quite happily flat to the floor. You can use as many pillows as you want. You can just run around your entire house and just get lots and lots of pillows for this kind of practice. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You've got to remember that, you know, when we all started doing yoga in the 70s, I seem to remember, we didn't have fancy yoga mats and we didn't have yoga straps, you know, we used old ties. We didn't have yoga blocks, we just used all sorts of stuff. We improvised. Now it's a multi-million-pound industry. So we're going to come into Tadasana, which is bound angle pose, which is a gentle hip opener. So make sure that your sacrum and your hips come right up to the bottom of the bolster, whether it's flat to the floor or propped up. And just very, very gently lower yourself down. You can have blankets underneath the hips, you can place a blanket on top of you. And you place your eye mask on here. Now, you might think that this might be comfortable enough for you, feet wide, knees together, okay? Because when we come into this hip opener, it might be just a little bit of a challenge if it's too much, okay? Because you might want to have something to prop underneath the knees, so you can have a block underneath each knees, you can have a pillow underneath each knees. So say for example, I was coming into this posture, just going to improvise a little bit here. So my knees don't come too wide. Just imagine these are bigger pillows. So you're coming down, you've got your knees together, and bring your soles of your feet together, allow your knees to gently open wide. So you're making a butterfly position with your legs. So this is a nice chest opening, there's a hip opening. If this is too much, get more stuff underneath the knees, because it's, you get that deep stretch in the inner groin area here. But it also allows you to place your hand very gently on your belly, and you can focus on your breathing, whatever feels nice. So place your eye mask on, and then come back to your belly breathing. Come to your 5 inhale, 5 exhale. And focusing on mindful attention of the physical sensation of the body weighted into the floor. Deep, 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 deep relaxation. Keeping that mindful attention on what is, what's happening right here, right now, without judgment. You can always shift these knees, you can always have them in a different position. You could always put another bolster underneath this, under the knees if you've got that, if this doesn't feel comfortable for you. Or you can still have a bolster underneath your knees, with your knees wide in butterfly. But you get this nice chest opening here. For some people it can be a challenge. So if it is a challenge for you having a chest opener, use your resourcing tools. Focus on the contact to the floor, your hands and your breath. Focus on an area that feels safe and comfortable. Just place your attention onto that sensation. So if your tummy feels nice or your feet feel nice, you can just concentrate on that sensation instead. So count to 5 inhale, count to 5 exhale. So you're breathing into your hands with deep abdominal breathing. So obviously you can do this much longer. From supported bound angle pose, before we come into Shavasana, this is a very good one. Legs up the wall pose is an exceptionally good one and can be on its own the best posture to do before you go to sleep at night. The reason being is if your hips are slightly higher than your heart, you're going to reduce the blood pressure. And if you've been stood up all day, or you've been a key worker and it's been hot and you've got all that build up of tension in the legs. My ankles get very swollen in hot weather, and all that lactic acid that builds up, that tiredness and achiness. It's a very nice thing to do, but you need to prop up your hip. You need to prop up your hips so it's slightly higher. So get stacked. So come to the wall, sit to the side, leave a gap about 6 to 12 inches, whatever feels good. Okay, and then swing your legs up so that you've got plenty of space, that your hips are not close to the wall, so that your legs won't fall down. Now obviously there might be some contraindications here if you've got an eye problem such as glaucoma, or you have blood pressure problems, so be aware of that. If that's the case, you might want to take the elevation off the hips so there's not too much pooling going on around the chest area. And with this posture you can really go for it and get your arms out wide, and you can really relax into this posture. You can really focus on the breath and focus on the contact between the backs of the arms and the head and the shoulders and the hips and the floor. And this is a very deeply relaxing pose. All these postures are very calming. They bring you out of the fight, flight, freeze, flop response into parasympathetic rest, digest and repair. So make sure that you focus on your breath and your counting, mindful attention and awareness. You're bringing your body down into deep, deep, deep relaxation. Allowing the body to soften, let go. You're just letting everything go, the ego go, everything. Just a being person, not a doing person. We never spend any time just being. Getting away from target setting, destination addiction, having to achieve this, do that. What about your appraisal? What about your PDR? What have you done? When you're practicing deep relaxation here, you are coming back to yourself and your true authentic self and who you are. All the pressure of life and work has just gone. And then when you feel ready, very slowly roll to one side, drop your knees over to the side, and then gently push yourself up. And then get ready for the next posture. Now my favourite posture we're going to do a Yoga Nidra in a moment, but I'm just going to just explain to you 3 other practices that you can do as an alternative or add on to what we've just done today. So you can probably just do legs up the wall and then Chandra Bidana. Now Chandra Bidana is involving inhaling and exhaling with alternate nostril breathing. You could also do squeeze and release. Squeeze and release is when you, for each part of your body, on the inhale, tighten the muscle and then exhale, release. So you would start from the feet and work your way up to your head, and then finally do your body. Inhale, squeeze, exhale, release, inhale, squeeze, exhale, release, twice at the end. With Chandra Bidana, okay, you do what I always call the Ozzy Osbourne, okay, mudra, war pigs. Okay, so this alternate nostril breathing, you can practice this for 10 rounds. So inhale for the count of 5 through the left nostril as you close off the right nostril with your thumb. Then close off your left nostril and exhale out for the count of 5 through your right nostril. So alternate. 5 left, closing off the right nostril. Closing off the left nostril, exhale right. Now if you wake up in the middle of the night and you cannot go to sleep, you can do a psychic version or mental alternate nostril breathing called Aluma Vilima Kriya. So you imagine that you have a circle around your body. Okay? So as you inhale, you imagine that your inhale is going in an arc from your feet to your head on the right. And then on the exhale is going down from your head to your feet on the left, creating a loop. Inhale right, exhale left, inhale right, exhale left, creating this circle. It's very meditative, it's also very mindful, and it will help you to get to sleep. So there's 2 versions of alternate nostril breathing, the physical one and then the mental one, which you can do either when you've just woken up or when you are completely relaxed. Now we're going to come into the final resting pose, Shavasana. Now there's different ways to do this. I sometimes like to have something slightly rolled up underneath my shoulders. I like to have a little bit of lift. Just a little bit of a chest opener. I'm rolling up a blanket, something underneath my knees, something for my head. Get your eye mask on. We're now going to do a very, very nice self-compassion meditation. Self-compassion is very, very important. It's what we need right now. So as you get into this, get yourself nice and steady, get relaxed, you've got your eye mask on. This bit here, if you want to use a rolled up underneath your shoulder blades where your bar strap is, that's up to you. If that feels uncomfortable, just take that out, okay? If you want to do it where you've got a bolster underneath your knees, you can really experiment where you want everything to go. So you can try that. You can try it with another bolster. You've got 2. If you're greedy like me, I've got 12. You can do all sorts of things. Just practice it. So this one's a little bit of a kind of where you're supported like this. You can even prop it up at the end so you get a little bit of a lift. Whatever feels nice. Or you can just come into knees bent is nice because you get that tension out of the lower back. And you can just lay down like this with something underneath your head, eye mask on. Okay, so spend a few moments getting yourself really, really comfortable and we'll get ready for our special Yoga Nidra. So I'm going to sit at the front here and I'm going to talk you through it. So, contradictions here. If you're expecting or pregnant, laying on your back, probably not a good idea. Side lying pose. So if you're side lying, you can lie on your side. You can use the bolster to just prop your knees up like so, okay, and have very nicely propped up. So really, you know, laying on your front, laying on your back when you're pregnant will be an issue. So that's a contradiction as well. So let's get ready. I'm going to sit here. So, self-compassion is all about self-acceptance of what is. It's about not wanting to change things or not wanting to have things to be different than they are. So make sure that you're warm enough and the position is one that you will be comfortable in for the duration of this practice. Remaining perfectly still if you can. And just wriggle around until you're able to settle and close your eyes. Take this moment to adjust yourself completely. And trust that your body knows that this is the time for it to relax. And be prepared to lie completely still. But it's not a marathon. If you need to move, you can move mindfully. Just make sure you know where you are, the time of day, before closing your eyes. And then place 1 or 2 hands over your heart or any other soothing place. And do this as a reminder to bring affectionate awareness to yourself throughout this exercise. Feeling the warmth and the gentle touch of your hands. And take 3 deep inhales and exhales. Allowing your body to relax or soften completely. You can keep your hands where they are or let them fall by the side of your body. The practice of Yoga Nidra is the practice of sensing the physical body and listening to the sound of my voice. So open your senses. Become aware of taste inside of the mouth and ears, listening with ears and whole body. And smell, welcome the touch of air and aroma in the nostrils. And vision, relax your eyes from the world of seeing and looking. Your internal vision opening. And feel the skin, the touch of air or temperature. and close and the touch of the ground and your skin. And experience your body lying on the floor. Experience your body lying on the floor. Feel the whole weight of your body lying on the floor. Feel the weight and contact between the body and the floor. Concentrate on the weight and contact between body and the floor. And try to experience the whole plane at once. We will now rotate our awareness around each body part, bringing a warm-hearted attention to each in a variety of ways, moving from one place to the other, finding out what works best for you with the curious attention of a child, as if you've met your body parts for the first time. And when you notice that your mind has wandered, return to the sensations in the particular part of your body. If you have any judgments or unpleasant associations with a particular part, or experience discomfort, imagine warmth and kindness flowing through to that part. And you can say words of kindness such as, "May my knees be at ease." The practice of Yoga Nidra begins now. Start with your toes on your right. Just begin to notice if there's any sensations such as warmth or coolness, or even nothing at all. Just feel the sensations of the toes, whether ease or discomfort, or perhaps nothing at all, letting each sensation be just as it is. Perhaps give your toes an inner smile of recognition or appreciation for all that they do for you. And then move to the sole of your right foot. What do you notice here? Your feet have such a small surface area, yet they hold you up all day long. They work so hard. Give them some appreciation, even if it's just for a moment. And if there's any discomfort, release any tension in that area to soften as if you've wrapped it in a warm towel. If you like, address any discomfort with words such as, with a kind voice, "Okay, there's a little discomfort here, it's okay for now." That soft voice works with polyvagal tone. And now feel your whole foot. If your feet feel good today, you can extend gratitude for the discomfort that you don't have. And move your attention now up your leg, one part at a time, noticing whatever is present, appreciating whether each feels fine, and sending kindness if there's discomfort. But move slowly. Move slowly and appreciate what each part does. Notice the ankle. Notice sensations. Breathe out any discomfort. And words of appreciation, and if there is any discomfort, imagine that you're wrapping it in a warm towel. The shin and the calf, just notice. Just notice that warm kindness is wrapped with a warm towel. And come to your knees. Perhaps give your knees words of appreciation such as, "May my knees be at ease," and breathe out any discomfort that you feel here. And come to your right thigh. Just notice any sensations. Maybe say, "May my thigh be at ease," and breathe out any discomfort. Feel your right hip and notice any sensations there, and give it any words of appreciation. Warm kindness is wrapped in a warm towel. And then to the right side of the torso, notice sensations. Again, warm kindness is wrapped in a warm towel. And just give the right side of your torso words of appreciation. Breathe out any discomfort. And then become aware of the neck and notice any sensations here. And then the back of the head. Breathe out any discomfort. Send appreciation and warmth if needed, if you feel any sensations of discomfort. And then the front of the head. You may notice any holding of tension in the jaw or the face. Allow that to soften. May my jaw and my face be at ease, and breathe out with the exhale. And then become aware of your right shoulder. Just notice what you feel right here, right now. If there's any tension in your right shoulder, just say, may my right shoulder be at ease. And allow the exhale to soften any tension there. Come to the right upper arm and elbow. And just notice what's going on. Feel any sensations, even if it's nothing at all. There's no right or wrong way to practice this guided relaxation. Come into the right forearm and the wrist and just notice any areas of discomfort or tension. Remember, warm kindness will wrap it in a warm towel. And then move to the left side. Just notice your toes on the left foot. Notice any sensations. Are your toes warm or cool or dry or moist? Just feel the sensations of your toes on your left foot. Maybe there's ease, maybe there's discomfort, maybe there's nothing at all. And let each sensation be just as it is. We're not trying to change or fix anything. Perhaps give your toes on your left side an inner smile of recognition or appreciation. And move to the sole of your foot. Notice and detect what you can feel here. It's been holding up your body all day long. Your feet work so hard. Try to show some appreciation, if only if it's for a moment. If there's any discomfort, release any tension and allow it to soften as if it was wrapped in a warm towel. Now feel your whole foot. How does your whole left foot feel today? Does it feel good? Try to extend any gratitude, even for the discomfort that you don't have. Move your attention slowly up the left side of the body, the ankle. Notice sensation. Show your appreciation. Any discomfort, wrap it up as if it's snug in a lovely, lovely warm towel. Move into your shin and your calf. Notice any sensations that are here. Allow it to soften and relax. Breathe out on the exhale any discomfort. And come into your knees on the right side. Just notice what it feels like. Breathe out any discomfort there. On the left side. And then left thigh. Just notice any sensations. Warm kindness is a wrapped warm towel. And then come into your hip. What do you notice here? Any sensations? Where do you feel any stretches or tension? Just notice with non-judgmental curiosity and kindness. Warm kindness is a wrapped warm towel. And then to the right side of the torso. Notice whether there's any tension. Wishing that it's any tension there, that it be at ease. And breathe out any discomfort. Come into the shoulder. Notice any sensations here. If there are any tension, just try to breathe it out. Just notice. Just notice, just check in, non-judgmental. Remember, warm kindness is wrapped in a warm towel. And come to the left upper arm and the elbow. What do you feel right here, right now, with curiosity? And then the forearm and the left wrist. Warm kindness is a warm towel. And then as you move into the left hands and the fingers, offer some words of appreciation for what your hand does for you. It holds, it tender caresses, it grabs things, it works very hard for you. And breathe out any discomfort. And then become aware of the whole body. Just become aware of the whole body. And repeat the following phrases in appreciation for the whole body. May I be happy. May my happiness continue. May I be present for my joy. May I appreciate the joy in my life. And then just let go of any focus or awareness and contact. Try to become aware of any sounds you can hear in this moment. Nothing else but what you could hear without strain. And begin to focus on the most distant sound you can hear. Let your sense of hearing radiate outward. Searching out these distant sounds and following them for a few moments. Move your attention from sound to sound. Sounds closer to you. Sounds outside of this building. Sounds inside of this building. Sounds inside of this room. In your mind's eye, visualize the four walls, the room, the ceiling, the floor, your body lying on the floor. Position of your body, your clothes, your hair. Become acutely aware of all points of contact between your body and the floor. And come back to the feeling of your breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Maintain awareness of your breath and at the same time develop your awareness of your physical body. Your body is relaxed and lying on the floor, but notice the heaviness as it rests on the floor and take in an awareness of all points touching the floor, from heels to head. And lie quietly until you feel ready to move. You may start by slowly moving your hands and feet. Take your time. There is no hurry. When you are sure that you're fully awake, gently open your eyes. Roll over onto your right side and stay there for a few moments. Or stay where you are, laid on your back. And only when you're ready, push yourself up from the floor and let your head come up last. The practice is now complete.